How much money have you made in the last 12 months as a signing agent?
$120,000.
Can you tell everyone how old you are?
I'm 24.
24 years old, and you've made six figures as a signing agent in the past 12 months. Another episode of On the Road with the Loan Signing System. Here with signing agent Schuyler out in the great state of Arizona. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing so great. Thank you, Mark, for having me. It's
Oh
my
my,
privilege.
oh man, the privilege is mine. I am so excited about inspiring everybody. So let's get out of the gate. How much money have you made in the last 12 months as a signing agent?
$120,000.
120,000. Can you tell everyone how old you are?
I'm 24.
24 years old, and you've made six figures as a signing agent in the past 12 months. When I say all of that out loud, man, how does that make you feel?
Accomplished, fulfilled. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. From where I came from, that's a great, great feat.
I'm excited for you, man. Where you came from, we're about to share all that. But let me just start with this, man. There must be something in the water in Arizona because all you students are just crushing it. I love it.
I know I've seen so many others. Kayla, of course, you just interviewed her. She's really good. Yeah, so many good signing agents here in Phoenix.
That's right. And everyone says, oh, there truly is business for everybody. And that can't be more proof of that. So anyways, man, let's get on because your story, like all these stories, are crazy inspiring. Take people back to the beginning. I think you've watched some of these episodes. You know, I asked the same question of every successful student. Why did you become a signing agent? Tell us your story, man.
Absolutely. So it does stem back 7 years ago. Even though I've only been doing this a little over a year, 7 years ago, it was a time where my mom was laid off, the home foreclosed, and for a fresh start, we moved from upstate New York to here in Phoenix. And my mom hadn't found a job yet, so we were living in a hotel. And eventually the credit card ran out. So now we get kicked out of the hotel. So we scrambled, we met some people at the hotel, we found a place to live. But that is what drives me even today. Just that feeling of hopelessness, that uncertainty just felt totally dead inside, just numb and helpless. And so that's what motivates me in all my actions with my business today.
Well, I mean, man, that first off, thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing that crazy journey. I mean, you're only 24, so people can do the math, right? You were a young man when a young man when you got foreclosed on and you're living out of a hotel. I mean, talk about like the feelings you had as a young man of just because I could not imagine, man, of getting foreclosed on, moving cross country, living out of hotels, having the credit cards run out. I mean, tell people how you were feeling. I mean, at being such a young age, I guess is what we're all trying to get at.
I felt a lot of pressure. Of course, no one should have to go through that at such a young age, but you have a single mom and you definitely want to support her. So I felt a lot of pressure. And so I knew I wasn't going to go to college because I knew I needed to start working right away. So I did get a job, but I had no car. So I would go an hour and a half each way to and from work. I did that for about 2 years. And then,
so let me get this straight. This is crazy. So, first off, I appreciate you saying what you said earlier about the pressure and knowing that, someone that young shouldn't feel that pressure, but yet you did. And the idea of like college wasn't an option for me. Like I needed to help with the bills and I needed to go do something right away. And so at 18, I'm guessing is when you got this job and you had to go on the bus an hour and a half each way to work. Is that what I heard?
That's correct. That's absolutely it.
Wow, man. I mean, that's just an incredible part of the journey. So talk me through, what were you doing? I mean, you're 18 years old. I mean, going an hour and a half, talk through, because you're probably not the only 18-year-old who is forced into the work field and had to become an adult quick, right? It's like I had no time to go to college and party. It's like I need to pay the bills and help my mom pay the bills to keep the lights on. I mean, hour and a half, talk through, what were you doing? This is incredible.
Yeah, so I was decimated to nothing but a bus stop. So I am taking an hour and a half trip each way to and from work doing Venetian plastering. So I would take a bus to the shop and then one of the guys, other employees would, pick me up there and then we would go to the job. So I was doing Venetian plastering. That's what I was doing for about 5 years.
I mean, that must have just been a grind, right? Was
Yeah,
there any time for a social life? I mean, at 18, in theory, that's, you're trying to transitioning to adulthood, but you were thrown right into adulthood. I mean, was there any other time for you? Was it just work, back, pay bills, help mom?
not a whole lot of social life, a little bit of balance there. But with working those 8 hours a day and then those long bus trips,
Yeah.
and then you're just focused on taking the weight off of your mom. No, there's not a lot of time for anything else. It was a grind for a
Wow,
really
that's
long time.
incredible. I mean, honestly, your mom must be proud of you, man. I mean, you went from
Oh,
going
no.
on bus trips to, going from bus trips an hour and a half to work to being six figures. I mean, what does your mom say now?
Oh, she's happy. She's definitely happy. So gosh, my sister and I, we bought a home here in Phoenix 3 years ago. And so she lives there with me now. My sister has since moved to San Francisco, but she's so happy now. We've done a bunch of things to the house in this past year that has made it more comfortable for her. She loves that, of course. But yeah, she's definitely proud of where we've come from. It was hard at first, but she's so astonished with where we are now.
I mean, 24 years old and making six figures. Would you have thought when you were taking that bus ride to and from for an hour that in, 3, 4 short years, you'd be making six figures?
Absolutely not. That was not really something I expected.
So proud of you, man. Honestly, I love digging into all your stories because I see all of your guys' journeys in the Facebook group, but I don't know all of the stories, right? And so when I get you on
Yeah.
these interviews and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's even, I know how hard it is and how much work goes into building a six-figure business, but having the pressures of being such a young man and building this business and the pressures of helping mom and your sister out, like incredible, man. So freaking proud of you. So let's take us through that, right? We're still trying to get up to your signing agent, being a signing agent. So you're working for as a Venetian plasterer, hour and a half. What happened to that job?
Yeah. So this past this past year in 2020, I was working and just out of the blue, my boss asked if he could talk to me. And I've been working with him for 5 years. We have a bunch of mutual friends, and just no notice, out of nowhere, he fired me. And so
Okay,
that took
so
me by surprise.
well, I mean, let me just ask a question. If like you've taken yourself from A to B, providing for your mom, buying a house for you with all this income you're making from being a Venetian plaster, you have your sister, and then you get fired. I mean, dude, how did you feel? Did it take you back to when you were like 16, 18? Like, what were you feeling at the moment? Because that's insane.
Yeah, I did feel a little bit betrayed because I thought we had a pretty good relationship. Even though we didn't always see eye to eye, I viewed us as friends even. But then also, once you get over that, you realize, okay, there's still bills to pay. I still need to make money. And now I did go back to those visuals of when I was
Hmm.
17, 18. And you see your mom crying when she gets laid off. You see your mom crying when the home forecloses and all that. You get those visuals again after you get fired because you don't want to go back to that. And so it was just a time where I felt a little bit like I was drowning, overwhelmed, wouldn't know exactly what was going to happen next. There was some uncertainty again.
Wow. I mean, honestly, thank you for being so vulnerable, and thank you for sharing that because, sometimes when people are in those moments of darkness, they can't see the light because you're now out, right? You went from there to where you are. And if someone's going through their own version of that, what would you say to inspire them that just to keep going and know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't know if you are a reader of Napoleon Hill, but I agree with pretty much, he always says this, every failure comes with it the seed of an equivalent success.
Hmm.
And those darkest times, like when I was 17 and the home foreclosed and I was getting kicked out of the hotel, and then the dark time with getting fired, those two things are probably the two best things that have ever happened to me. They were the catalyst for everything that I now have. There's no doubt about it.
I love it. You know what? I know, why I asked that question. And I think, hope everyone's inspired by that is, when you meet a six figure earner, six figure earners never play victim. they use failures as a learning moment, as a driving point to something great, right? Because all of us have two options when something bad happens. It's like, oh my gosh, why me? Poor me. This shouldn't have happened to me. Versus, this happened. I got to pick myself back up. It's not ignoring the emotions that you talk through, but it's using them as fuel. It's using them as something bigger and a greater purpose. And I love how you said, like, those are two of the best things that ever happened to you. But on the other side of that sentence, you said those were some of my darkest moments. And why I love these interviews, because it's really about digging into the mindset of a six-figure earner. And mindset happens way before you actually make the money or you get to where you want to go. I think a lot of people say, well, I'm going to have a new mindset when I get successful. No, you've got to have the mindset before you get successful. And that's why you're successful. I'm inspired by you, man. You're 24 years old and you're like so wise beyond your years. And, you know, because of some circumstances in your life may have forced that. But like you said, those are two of the best, those moments you wouldn't have changed, because it's why you work so hard. It's why you are a six-figure signing agent. So, man, congratulations on just the success. And man, you're more inspiring now than before we started, because you're 24 years old making six figures. I didn't make six figures when I was 24. Imagine what you're going to be when you're 30, man. It's like, come on, get out of here with this.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Yeah, but though the experience, you know, right after, you know, my mom getting fired and laid off, like that, of course, built character. Whenever I'm not real happy about maybe doing a 6 a.m. signing or doing a 10 p.m. signing, I just think back to that. I no longer feel lazy in that regards, or complacent, or if I'm nervous about reaching out to an escrow officer, I go back to there. And then the courage then outweighs the fear, because I'm so desperate to not go back there. Mm-hmm. I will do literally anything if it means that I'm going to be able to take care of me and my family. That's so simple.
I'm speechless, and I'm never speechless. That was beautiful. You know, the courage outweighs the fear. And that's like a beautiful sentence. And again, you're taking your life history, not as why me, but I'm going to use it as motivation to work harder, to go into an escrow office, like you said, right? Your why is your family. And it's a beautiful thing to watch, man. I'm so proud of you. And I think, you know, I'm a big family first guy, and yeah. And to see you with your family like that is super inspiring, man. So look, let's take people back up to, you got fired. I mean, boom. And then being a signing agent's kind of what you had to do, you know? So let's kind of talk to people about your journey. Cause I think what's inspiring about your journey too, man, is not just what you walked us through, but you actually been an LSS student for 2 years. And so it's not like you experienced overnight success like some students, like a Caleb Bieber, for instance. And I think that's really cool. I want people to realize that there's so many different ways of building this business. It took you a solid year before you've built a foundation, and then the past years when your business has exploded. But there was a year of uncertainty and a year of just building. I don't want to speak for you, so let's walk people through that. So take us through the first, 8-9 months of your business, and walk people through kind of the slower growth, and so people will kind of understand your journey to where you are today with six figures.
Yeah, so I completed your course, I think around the summer of 2019. And I would do like 1 or 2 signings a month, not a whole lot. And I think even though I did see just small little bits of success, I didn't take it totally serious or reach out enough as far as marketing goes, because I felt a little bit insecure. Here I am, I'm 20, 22, 23 years old. I have no college education, no experience in real estate or anything regarded to legal matters. And so why would anyone want to use me or take me seriously? So I think that held me back, the self-doubt, for a little while.
Wow. Well, thank you for saying that. And I hope some, young adults watching this, or even, people like me who's almost 44, like self-doubt's real no matter what age. But I would like to talk to like a 22-year-old, because I thought that was super deep, right? You were experiencing a certain level of success. Like the notifications were happening, you were getting the signings, but you still doubted yourself. Like, would anyone really, you almost like imposter syndrome happened. Like, ooh, they gave me a signing, but they don't know I'm 22. And so that still prevented you from reaching out to signing services or escrow officers, because like you said, the self-doubt, like, why would they hire me? That's so crazy deep. So Thank you for sharing that, man, because I'm sure you're not the only young adult who kind of feels like, would anyone take me serious if I'm so young? And so talk people through that. So my guess is, now knowing your journey, is that when you got fired, it was kind of like, well, now it's time to go all in because there really isn't a plan B. Am I kind of correct?
Absolutely. And that's why that is one of the best things that has ever happened to me. I was just clinging on to the full-time job because it was comfortable. I knew I was going to get a paycheck every week. But getting fired, it forced me to go all in on the signing business. That's why it's one of the best things that ever happened to me. So if someone else, you should be smarter than me, actually. If you're making good money part-time as a signing agent and you're not happy with your job, be smarter or more courageous than me. Quit the job and go all in. And right, you have nothing to lose. You can always go back to a job like that. But if you never take the shot on starting your business, it's never going to happen.
No, I love it. It's so interesting to hear that one of your biggest regrets is you didn't go all in sooner. But the
Right.
cool part is sometimes, life has a way of like pushing us in the direction we need to go. And obviously getting fired, because you said I got fired unexpectedly, but somebody somewhere had bigger plans for you. And that was what had to happen to get you here, which I love. And so, but again, I thank you for saying that, 22 was kind of the reason you didn't take the business more serious, is because you didn't think anyone would take you serious. So if you don't mind, can we pause on that and talk about that? Because I want to talk to another 22-year-old. Do you find that your age has ever been a disadvantage to you in this building your business process?
No. And self-doubt, it just gets to the best of us. We play it in our head like it's a bigger deal than it really is. Every interaction that I have had with any escrow officer or any owner of a signing service, they don't even blink. As it doesn't matter how old you are. You can be 18, you can be 70. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, yellow, orange, pink. They don't care. It doesn't matter what your education level is. As long as you can complete a signing error-free and you're reliable, you make yourself available for them, you're professional, they do not care. They are happy to use you, in fact.
Yeah, no, I love it. I thank you. And I hope 22-year-olds, 23, 24-year-olds heard what you said there, right? You know what you're doing. You provide good work. It doesn't matter. Age is a number. And I hope our veteran and wiser signing agent students, in the 60s or 70s heard that too. It's agents. This is one of the best businesses in America because you're only judged on your work. It very rarely can you say that. But this business is, if you can do it error-free, cause no funding conditions, let's rock and roll, right?
Knowledge. That's it.
I love it. I love it.
Absolutely good.
Let's continue with your journey, because I think your journey is great. So, okay, you get laid off, fired, whatever word you want to use. You're like, okay, I now need to go all in on this business. Let's talk about the all in. But before we talk about the all in, I want to inspire people with your income stream. How much of your business is direct and how much of it is through signing services?
I get about 70% from signing services and then about 30% directly from escrow officers.
And I love that. What I love about that, Schuyler, is, there's, again, not a wrong way or right way to build a six-figure business. Some people always say, you got to go direct. You got to go direct. You got to go where the business is. And if you're getting fed a lot of business from signing services consistently, why would you ever leave it, right? It should never be all one, all the other. It is, let's just build a business. And I hope people heard that you can mix signing service and direct business and have a six-figure business. And what would you say to people out there who say, oh, you can't have a six-figure business by working with signing services? What would you say with that?
Well, I'm living proof that it's not. I use mostly signing services, and yeah, I always pretty much make over $2,000 a week. And most of my business comes from signing services. So that's not true. And the other thing too is, right, when people start thinking, I'm not going to do business for signing services, I mean, you don't have to, that's your choice. But if you're trying to start a business, you need to start creating revenue. And so be willing to go the longer distance, be willing to take the smaller fee, because if you do a good job, you're going to get good reviews. You're going to get experience under that platform. And now other signing services who maybe pay better, they'll start reaching out to you. Your business will grow. But it started with you taking the signing that was way over in Timbuktu and they didn't pay you a whole lot of money, that's how it can start. Taking the signings no one else will do.
No, I mean, and this, the theme is the same with all you successful students, is doing what other signing agents won't do. It's not, not feeling price shame that you take $65 signings. Like you said, you got to get the reviews, and when the reviews come in, then the higher paying signing service will notice if you got all these amazing signings and reviews, and now you'll start getting business from the higher paying signings. So many signing agents don't get that play of the game. It's like, well, I'm not going to work for $65. Well, if you don't work for $65, then how are you going to get reviews? How are you going to get signings? Right? And it's like, oh my gosh, take the signings, because the bigger signing services are just waiting for you to get that experience. So get the experience with some of the smaller signing services who are paying less, so the bigger ones put you on the radar. You're hearing it directly from a six-figure signing agent who makes 70% of his six-figure business, 70% of it from signing services. And I'm willing to bet, Skyler, let's talk through it a little bit, is you probably have some pretty good relationship with signing service owners.
I do. I've had signing service owners text me and say, hey, I'm just texting you from now on. I have peace of mind. Every single escrow officer that has gotten back to me after you've done a signing has given you a good review and said the docs are perfect. I am going to you every single time because it gives me peace of mind.
And there's value in a guarantee.
And they pay amazing. This signing service pays amazing.
Yeah,
almost as much as you would direct, just a teeny bit. Just a teeny bit less. And so that's what you can do. There's that potential.
I love you saying it. You keep dropping fire. I keep wanting to jump in. I'm like, oh no, he's dropping fire. But there's a few things I want to take from that, man. Is what people don't understand is, a signing service gets more business if the notary does a good job. A signing service will pay more money to that good notary because they're working in volume. So they're going to make a little bit less, but know you're going to give great work and there's going to be no errors. So that's what people don't understand. You got to get through the $65 signings, get the experience so you can become a preferred notary with a signing service. And they'll end up paying you, like you said, just a little bit under what the direct fee is, because they're like, look, I will be happy to make 25 bucks off this because there is no worries on my plate. But again, I hope people are hearing this, man. People think I poo-poo signing services. I do not. I am pro whatever works for your business. Sometimes that's direct, sometimes it's SS. But man, like you said, you make $2,000 a week, and majority of that's come from signing services.
Yeah.
I mean, like, honestly, man, this is such a good interview. I hope everyone's hearing what you're putting down. At 24 years young, it's incredible what you've built, man. So I'm taking a look at my notes over here. And how much money did you make when you got fired? You had to go all in on the business. What did you make that first month?
That first month, I made $7,000, which, gosh, that was amazing. That was more than double what I was making working my regular full-time job.
And what'd you make the month after that?
8,000.
What'd you make the month after that?
9,000.
I mean, look, it's crazy what happens when you went all in on your business, how much your business grew. Right. And now you're making double digits. $10,000 a month or more. And it's incredible where you've been. And so, I want to take people back though, right? I want to take I want to take people back to the first time that you got direct business.
Sure. Yeah.
So, because I think there's a myth. All these signing agents who get direct business are super confident. They're super salespeople. Shoot, you're 24 years old. How much work experience do you really have? And so I want to take people through kind of what it was like when you marketed direct to a title office you've never got business from before. Take me through that. Yeah. That day, that moment.
Sure. Yeah. So I Googled some title agencies near me, found one that I decided on, and I pulled up to the parking lot and I just couldn't bring myself to get out of the car. So I literally drove away, right? I was so nervous. And I know other signing agents have done the same thing. It's a common thread there when you're just starting out. So it's normal. But I went back the next day and I'm still nervous, anxious, but I just reminded myself, because now at this point I've done hundreds of signings. Error-free. I just reminded myself I'm an educated signing agent. It's going to be error-free. I know I'll go the extra mile for these escrow officers. I'll do it at inconvenient times. I'll go far away. And so these escrow officers, they really need my service. I am doing them a disservice by not going in there and introducing myself to them. And so after that little pep talk in my head, I got the courage to go in through the door.
Okay, let me stop you real quick because I don't want to glance over that. So I hope people heard what you just said, right? So let's take people back in case they missed it. You drove up to the title office, were so scared you drove away. And then you drove back another day, but this time you sat in your car and you talked to yourself. You gave yourself what you just called a pep talk. But what I want people to hear is what you pep talked yourself with. You pep talk yourself with, I've done signings correctly. I am error free. I'm doing them a disservice by not going and marketing myself. So what I heard is a signing agent focusing on what they do good instead of a signing agent focusing on what they do bad. And that's what a good, successful person does. Because I always tell you, successful people will have nerves. Successful people are anxious and successful people have anxiety. That's not different because you're successful. What's different is the story and narrative that we tell. Unsuccessful people who have anxiety tell themselves, oh, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I don't have enough signings under my belt. Where a successful person or successful signing agent goes, no, I am good because I've done signings flawlessly, because I'm an error-free signing agent. That's the conversation. So I hope people didn't miss that conversation you had with yourself. What you did was you reminded yourself why you were great. I want everyone to hear that. Everyone here can remind themselves why they're great instead of focusing on what they're not good at. You didn't focus what you weren't good at. You focused on what you were great at. And I hope everyone heard the story. I don't even know if you realized you were doing that, but that's what was genius about getting it good.
And then you're also, right, you're reconfirming with yourself that you're capable, but then you're also making it about them. The escrow officer, like you're there to help them. And that can take away some of the nerves as well. Because you're not coming there from like that salesy, you're not coming in there with like a salesy kind of stank on, you're coming there to help them. And you legitimately can.
Wow. I mean, wow. I hope everybody heard that. You make it about them. You bring them the value. That is the loan signing philosophy if I've ever heard it. I'm so proud that that's what you built your business on. It's all about them. Man, I mean, that's why these interviews are so epic. So let's keep going on with your journey because every step of the way you're dropping fire, man. 24 years old. Like, you're so wise beyond I cannot wait to see what your business looks like in 2 years, in 3 years. It's like incredible. And again, you're choosing the value of consistent business with signing services over needing to always market direct. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think people undervalue consistent business from sources. And that's what you've built. You've built consistent streams of income from a signing service who pay you nearly full fees because you're so good. And I think too many signing agents look over those relationships with signing services and like, oh, I need to go direct. I need to go direct. You could, but you could also do a blend of both, which has worked very well for you, Schuyler. So again, I'm so proud of the business you've built, man. Anything I've missed on that?
No, not at all. I think we've touched a lot of good points.
So let's talk about what I always ask of all you successful signing agents, because by the way, you are a successful signing agent. If your best friend or your mom was like, Schuyler, I need one piece of advice to build my business. There's 1,000 pieces of advice to build a business. I need the best piece of advice you would give someone, your best friend, on how to build this business. What would that be?
I would say to have humility. It's so easy, especially in Arizona, to become a notary and to start a business. Doesn't matter what state you're in. It's relatively easy to start becoming a notary. It's right compared to your average business. But so there's so many notaries. What's going to make you different is knowing that you don't know everything. Having the humility to know that you need to be a perpetual learner. Loan docs will change. Laws will change. And you want to keep up to date with that so that you remain error-free and so that you can be educated when you're explaining those loan documents to the borrowers. And that's why I love Mark's 6-figure course, where you have live trainings every single week. That just keeps all of the students up to date so we can just keep moving along and stay on the ball.
I love it. I mean, I hope everyone, there's a lot of things I want to touch base because that was awesome. The first thing I want to touch base is on your best piece of advice is never stop learning. Like that cannot be a better piece. It's for some reason, like as adults or like as business owners, like, oh, okay, I've graduated college or high school. I don't need to learn anymore. Or like, oh, I've taken Mark's course. I don't need to go back into it. Oh, I make six figures. I don't need to learn anymore. And what I just heard is a six-figure signing agent who attends the weekly trainings. There are so many signing agents out there who make $60,000 a year, $40,000 a year, who do not put the same emphasis on knowledge. And that is why you make six figures. You attend those trainings, even though you could easily be like, you know what? I make six figures. What else can I learn? But instead you're like, well, let me see if I can get one nugget from somebody else that can change my business. And it's the yearning for that nugget that makes you great. And I hope go on.
I just watched Kathy's training right before this interview with you. And yet you're just looking for that one thing. So I'm like her. I love emailing title companies like she does.
Yeah.
But what's the one nugget I got from that?
Well, people got to watch the loan signing system course for that nugget.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to get that away.
He's about to drop some fire. We got to protect the investment. But what I love, though, is you watched an hour training for one nugget.
Yep.
That's what successful people do. They read a book for one sentence. The idea that like I have to get so much from every single thing is an unsuccessful mentality. And the fact that before this, on a Saturday afternoon, you took the time to study, that's why you're successful. I hope everyone hears that, man. I mean, it's Saturday. You could be doing 1,000 things. You make six figures, but you are at home watching training courses on how to be a better notary when you already make six figures.
Absolutely. Yep. And I think it's important. It's got to be.
It's important to successful people. And that's what I hope everyone hears. And I'm proud that your number one tip is to be humble enough to learn, because that is truly the key to being a successful person, not just a signing agent, right? Like, you know, I read books on relationships so I can be a better husband and books on being a better parent to my son. It's like, you know, I'm always on Google trying to figure out like, how can I be better in all aspects of my life? Because just because I'm married doesn't mean I can't be a better spouse, right? Just because you're a signing agent doesn't mean that you can't be a better signing agent. So I love these interviews. Everyone has a different piece of advice, and yours is like, look, don't stop learning, be a student. And you're spending Saturdays trying to find one nugget that can help your email game, your email marketing process. And you spend an hour to find one nugget. And most people would find that an unsuccessful hour.
Oh, it was worth it. So
that's my point. It's so worth it. That's why I love these. This is a mindset of a six-figure signing agent. Anything else you want to add to that, man?
No, I think that's well covered.
Okay, cool. Let's go into the last one to help the person right now, Schuyler, that has some hesitations on becoming a signing agent or hesitations on walking in direct to title companies. What was one of your biggest hesitations while building your business that you would like to walk someone through that you shouldn't be so hesitant about?
Yeah, we touched on it a little bit, but I would go back to the self-doubt I had, realizing that I am pretty young and I don't have great credentials as far as education goes, no college degree. I've got no background whatsoever in real estate. It's not like I was a loan officer before or a realtor before. I'm just brand new, nothing. So that hindered me, the doubts. But that shouldn't stop anyone, because like if you take Mark's course, Mark's going to give you everything that you need to know. He gives you all the tools in the tool bag. And as long as you apply those things, there's no reason why you won't succeed. Escrow officers, they do not care whatsoever. Again, they don't care how old you are or where you come from, what your background is. As long as you can complete a signing successfully, error-free, and you'll go the extra mile for them, and you do conduct yourself in a friendly, likable way, you're going to get used a lot. It's that simple.
No, I mean, you said a couple things. The first thing I want to that you said real quickly, but I want to cover is you said if you apply what Mark teaches you, everyone has the same course, but what differs is the application, it's the effort. And that I can't take credit for, man. Your effort is insane. Your ability to really understand that it's about the value you bring. It's about serving them. It's not about you. It's you applying those that is epic. It's all the big earners. I'm just the coach. The players make the plays, man. So I'm proud of you that you have taken those tools and you are applying them. And I hope this inspires everyone watching, because like I said, everyone has the same course. Everyone has the same script. Not everybody walks into a title office and uses that script, right? And so you do. And so I hope people heard that, is if you apply, because that is the key word. If you apply what you learn, and you do that as well as anyone I've ever taught. So I'm proud of you for that. But what I want to touch on though, what you said, is because I want to talk to a younger signing agent. You said age isn't relevant in this industry, which I completely agree with, because I will hire 18-year-olds if they can do the job, as a signing service owner. Yeah. But I want to maybe help someone who has who's younger, who might have a little bit of difficulty, believing in themselves. I shouldn't say believe in themselves, who believe if they walk into a title company, when they look at you marketing to them, that they won't be taken serious. So do you feel like when you walk into, because look, you are a young looking 24, my friend. You look like you're 18.
I know.
But I think that's great though. So, because I know there's students who are like, I won't be taken seriously because I look young. Address that to let them know that that's also more in their head than really what's going on inside that moment.
Yeah, in my experience, when I'm just cold calling, walking into a title agency and I'm talking to an escrow officer, this is our first interaction. We play it in our heads like they're going to be so rude or just dismiss us. In my experience, at least, people are friendly. They are nice. And again, if you're coming from that standpoint of how you can help them, they're going to be friendly to you. They might not use you, but you're not going to die. You walked in, you're going to walk out. It's okay. And you have nothing to lose. Once you stop fearing rejection, you can go so far.
I love it. But address real quick though, the age. Do you feel like when you're talking to an escrow officer, and I don't know what word I'm looking for, but maybe do you feel like they look down on you because of your age, or because you are babyface? Like, do you feel like they take you less serious? Because I know it's a real concern from our younger signing agents.
No, they don't. I've never had one escrow officer say anything regarding my age.
I love it, yeah.
They just thank me for the work I do.
Yeah, I love it, and that's what they care about.
That's what they care about.
Yeah, I think, like I said, it helps when it comes from a babyface 24-year-old, because I can say it all day. But, when a babyface 24-year-old says it, it comes more powerful. So thank you. And again, I think a lot of our younger signing agent students have the doubt, like, am I going to be taken serious? But what you said, and you keep going back to, and I hope everyone's hearing this, is when you make it about them, they don't see anything else. They just see the value you bring. And you've said that line like 5 times, and I hope everyone hears that, is because it's a beautiful line, man, is when you make it about them, about serving them, the value you can bring them. They don't see age, they don't see gender, they don't see anything. It's like, how can you help my business and how you can help me? And that's all they see.
Absolutely. I agree. That's it.
Let me kind of wrap up this part of the conversation with, if there was a 22-year-old who's watching this right now, scared about walking into a title company market, talk to them, give them advice, encourage them to take that step, please.
Yeah, you're going to be nervous. That's totally normal. Just reconfirm with yourself that you know all the documents that are in these packages, and that you can provide them a service that they need. That should ease the nerves, because now it's about helping them. It's not about you.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, that wraps up the interview, but I'm gonna ask you on our way out, and because you've come from, being foreclosed on, living out of hotels, at such a young age, on the way out of this interview, if someone's going through their dark times and they need some inspiration to get out of those times, because you were in them, and you said you experienced like flashbacks when you got fired of being back in those dark times. If someone's going through that moment right now, man, and I want you to leave because you read Napoleon Hill, inspire someone that just good things come to those who work, good things come to those who are patient, because this took you 2 years to build. Inspire someone on the way out, man.
Yeah, those dark times, we all have them. We all have our rock bottom, whatever that is. Let that be, embrace it. Let that be the fire in your tummy that motivates and drives you to take courageous, massive action with your business, and you will see results.
If you can build this business at 24 years old, do you think anyone could build this business?
Hey, as long as you're 18. Yep, absolutely. That's all it takes. You got to be legal. But yeah, anyone, any age, you absolutely have the potential to build a successful signing business, no doubt.
Well, with that being said, man, you're wise beyond your ears. Thank you so much for spending a Saturday afternoon with me. I'm proud of you, bro. And I know I'm going to see you at conference, learning, getting more info in that brain, because I can't wait to see your business in 2 years. It's incredible.
Mark, thank you so much for having me. This was such a pleasure, and I hope I provided value to everyone who's watching. And yes, I will see you in Vegas. I will make sure I find you.
Awesome, man. Well, be blessed. I'll see you in 3 weeks, brother. Bye.
Got it. See ya. Have a good night.